name is Veronica Appolonia, and I'm going to talk about a trip to England that I took. 2 trips, but we'll start with the first one. I had seen a flyer for Shauna Carroll's Goddess Chant Tours. I've always wanted to go to England. I've always wanted to visit Stonehenge and other sacred sites. You can make arrangements to actually go in there and touch the stones. The stones, it was like I could feel energy and power pouring off of them. It was like walking through honey. It was just amazing. And I finally did touch 2 of the stones. There were 2 of the smaller ones. And I stood between them and put my hands on them and tried to imagine the centuries that they'd been there and the things that they'd seen. We were invited back to sing Goddess Chant, the full Goddess Chant, the following year for the Goddess Conference. But the main thing about the trip was the second visit to Stonehenge. Again, we went an hour before opening so that we actually got to go into the stones, and while I could still feel the energy pouring off of them, I knew I wasn't going to get knocked down. So when I got into the stones, I thought, this time I'm actually going to touch the stones, because I know nothing's going to happen to me. And I touched almost every stone there. And as I did, when I would touch them, I would hear a melody in my head, and I started humming that. And every stone had a different melody, a different sound to it. And it was like being filled up with the voices of the stones, with the music of the stones. And Shauna Carroll does this practice called spirit song, which is about releasing the music from your soul. And she offered a mini spirit song workshop. And there was this point where, other people were volunteering, oh, I want to do spirit song, I want to do spirit song. And then at this one point where we were almost done, and I thought, I have to do this. I have to do this. I was just so filled with the voices of the stones, with the songs, with the music, with their melodies, that I felt like I was going to explode. And I knew I had to give voice to it. So in this workshop, you just open your mouth and let whatever comes out. And I had to do it. I had to release this pressure and open myself to it. And it was, I remember at one point just this long note coming out of my mouth and thinking to myself, I'm never going to run out of air. I just kept going and going and going and never felt like I needed to breathe. In 2003, when I was at Glastonbury, the job I had at that time was pretty horrible. I hated it. And I was sitting in the Chalicewell Gardens, beautiful summer day, surrounded by this incredible serenity and beauty and peace and holiness. And I'm sitting there thinking about this awful job that I had, and that in a few days we were going to be heading back. And I was just really horrible feeling. And I'm sitting there, it's like, what am I doing? I'm in one of the holiest places in the world. And I'm sitting here worrying about a job that is still several days away. I'm here now. And I need to appreciate where I am now and quit looking to the future. Don't waste this moment. And I started saying to myself, there is no time but now. There is no place but here. There is no time but now. There is no place but here. And I started doing that, and then a melody came out. And it was, there is no time but now, there is no place but here. In the sacred we do stand, in a circle, hand in hand. There is no time but now, there is no place but here. In the sacred we do stand, in a circle, hand in hand. And that was the first song I ever wrote in my whole life. I was in my 40s. So I think I was 49. Can't remember. Or 50. I don't remember. But that was the first song I'd ever written in my life. And I was amazed. Here's, hey, I wrote a song. It's a short one, but I wrote a song. And then when we got back from England, I wrote another song, and another, and another, and another. Never written songs before in my life. And I realized that this was a gift from the stones of Stonehenge. That they had filled me with music, with song. And I'd tapped into something. It was just this, it was astounding to me. So the business that I own now is called Standing Stone, Healing and Arts. It's a lovely little property with some buildings on it, that it's office space that I rent out to healing practitioners. And I've actually created some little stone circles on the property. I have a lovely white granite stone out on the parking strip that is my logo. It's a standing stone. And anytime I find, there's a lot of really big rocks around here in the gardens, and whenever I find one half buried, I always stand it up. Standing stones just have a real meaning for me, a real resonance. And to call my business Standing Stone is my way of honoring the gift and acknowledging the standing stones on the Salisbury Plain in England that gave me this gift.